Naranchaiva narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. Tato, after Narayanam, the god Narayana, Namaskritya, after offering the prostration, pranam, respect to the Narayana, Narottama, he is the best among the men, and Naramcha, Naram means the Krishna, who the god, he has taken the form of a human being, Nara. Who is that Nara? Krishna. And that Krishna is the Narottama. Don't consider him that ordinary person. He is the best among the men. And at the same time, Devim Saraswatim Chaiva. And the goddess Saraswati, also the goddess of learning. Along with that, Vyasam, because he is the compiler. So the Vyasa also, if we try to do anything, any work, any endeavor, it will be successful if we do this. What? First is prostration to the Narayana, the Supreme God. Then that Narayana who has taken the human form, Krishna. And then the Saraswati and also the Vyasa. So all this, Narayanam, Namaskritya, Naranchaiva, Narottamam, Devim, Saraswatim, Vyasam, Tato Jaya Mudirayet. Some of the sloka, they have dropped the word Vyasa and they say Chaiva. Saraswatim cha eva, Chaiva. But it is here, they say Vyasa. Now we begin with Maharshi Krishna Daipayan Badarayan Veda Vyasa. It's a long name. He is a Maharishi. Rishi, we know those who are researching, they used to research, and now also researching on the truth. And different type of things they used to develop, the gate, so they were the Rishis, the thinkers. Muni also, the Mananshila, they are also thinkers, but mostly they used to ponder or meditate and come out with the meaning. As Rishis, they used to see the things and then they used to tell. So Rishis, Maharishi, he is the greatest among the Rishis. His physical color was black, so dark complexion, so he was known Krishna. He was born in an island, so Dvaipayan. And then he practiced austerity in Badrika Ashram. You know the north, the Badrika Ashram. So Badarayan. And he divided the Veda in 4 books. So Veda Vyasa. So these are the Krishna, Dvaipayan, Badarayan, Veda Vyasa. His father name was Maharshi Parashara and mother was Satyavati. And this Satyavati, again we will see, this Satyavati is the main figure in the Mahabharata. This Satyavati and Parashara Muni, their son was the Vyasa. And he has given without any hesitation this idea that I am the son of so and so, etc. His father was a great sage, Parashara, but mother was a very humble lady. And Vyasa's son, he was the Shukadeva. But I couldn't find the name of the Vyasa's wife, the mother of Shuka. So Vyasa's son was the great sage Shukadeva, monk among monks, they used to say about the Shukadeva. Even before birth, he learned everything, and immediately after his birth, and he left that samsara. So he was the Shukadeva. And Vyasa was having very famous 4 disciples. Their names are Sumanta, Jaimini, Paila, and Vaishampayan. Here we will find the importance of the Vaishampayan, because he memorized the whole Mahabharata and narrated it afterwards. So this is the history, background history of the Mahabharata. Then comes some of the informations that I wanted to share with you. The first time the Mahabharata was told by the famous Vyasa himself in Badrikashram before the 5 persons. And these 5 was Shuka and these 4 disciples, Sumanta, Jaimini, Paila and Vaishampayan. These 5, they heard it. And then they went out and they spreaded this. So this is the first time he himself narrated it. Vyasa divided the Veda. He was the composer of the Vedanta Darshana, also the writer of the Bhagavatam, 18 Puranas. All goes in the credit of Veda Vyasa. That's why they call him Vishala Buddhi. And all Hindu accept him as the Guru. The Guru Purnima, the full moon night, dedicated in the name of the Vyasa. Then others also, they remember their own gurus, but the actual guru is Vedavyasa. He was perturbed with one thought, and to get the solution, he meditated and prayed to Brahma. When the Brahma appeared, then he said, "O Lord, I have conceived in my mind the saga of the past, the present, and the future, of the decay and death, fear and disease, system of classes, rules for the ascetics, the dimension of the sun and moon, planet and stars, description of the mountains, rivers, oceans, cities and holy places, different races and languages, art of war, and many morality and spirituality." This is many means art of war and many, again morality and spirituality. So the Mahabharata is covering everything. So first he thought it. It was so vivid in his mind, he was thinking, I should record it. But a person, if he is just himself writing, it will take long time. So he was thinking for someone who could hear and then write. So he prayed to the Brahma, "Can you please suggest some name, someone who can come and do it?" Brahma was very happy. He said, "It will be an excellent job, because it will be the itihasa. All history, everything will be written, and it will be the record book for each and every one in the society. The monastics, the ascetics, how they are supposed to live, what should be their rules and regulations in their lives, that will be there. At the same time for the kings and the other householders. Then all these things, let me repeat the same, past, present and future of the history. So he will be telling of course we are not going to read the whole Mahabharata. So we will just nip from here and there, we will choose some of the passages and then mostly on the philosophy of the Mahabharata and not the stories. And then it says the decay and death. That means the beginning also will be told by this. Fear and diseases, what happens in the human society, why they are afraid, and what are the diseases, where from it comes. The system of classes, the Chatur Varna, so that he is giving a shape, proper shape, system of classes, rules for the ascetics, dimension of the sun and the moon, also the planets and stars. He was a very great astrologer, and that is the reason he was telling like this. And the description of the mountains, the rivers, the oceans. Unless and until you traveled all over the world, how can you explain? How can you give the description? That means he was a yogi who could go anywhere at his own will. So these are the things. Then the cities and holy places. The cities and holy places, so that we will see that almost all they have covered, mainly in the Jammu Deepa. Previously they used to call it Jammu Deepa. Bharatvarsha was known as Jammu Deepa. It was a vast land, and beyond that, all the other places were not developed. People were there, but they were not developed. So they have not given much attention to those places. So that is the reason. Beginning from nowadays they call it Middle East, the whole area, and going down up to the beach of, or the shore of Bay of Bengal, complete. So this is, and the different races and languages, art of war. This is very, very important, because whatever afterwards many of the people, they have appreciated. Before the inventions, from the foreign inventions that came to India, there was a ethics and morality even in war, and that we know in the Mahabharata it has been mentioned. If anybody is not having any arms and he is not ready to fight, you should not fight with him. Those who are having the bow and arrow cannot shoot at the person who is having only a sword. So like this. When it is dark, you should stop the work. And in the night, they are all friends. You should not go and kill anyone taking the advantage of the darkness. So all these things, and they followed it. And morality, spirituality, that is the main thing. O Lord, I need someone who can speedily and correctly take down my dictation. Then the Brahma suggested the name of the writer, Lord Ganesha. The Ganesha was a very fast writer, but some of the researchers, they said it is not our divine Ganesha, it is someone who was very good in writing and understanding. It may be that. But the Ganesha hymns, that if we are thinking it is a mythological character, then it is a different. If we think now it is a historical, the Ganesha, it can. And Ganesha was also having the Vishala Buddhi. He was having that intellect. And the Mahabharata, Ganesha came, Vyasa gave her all respect and said, please note it down. Ganesha smiled and said, I can. There is a conversation goes on. I can do that, but only thing, you cannot stop dictating. You have to go on telling, so that I can go on writing. You will go, and then one of our Swamiji, he used to dictate the letter to another Swamiji. He was a brahmachari that time, and now he is the vice president of our order. He was brahmachari in Bombay, and the Swami is in charge. He had the habit of going out after telling one sentence. Hey, right, dear sir, and he went out. Then he is sitting, after some time he came back and said, have you written? I have written long back. What's next? That I will say. You are not supposed to write. Wait. So then, like this, so that was a funny thing. Now Ganesha understood that he is going to tell all this. Maybe that he will take a lot of time. So he said, that you cannot do. Whatever you like to say, you must make it ready. And go on telling it, so that I will go on writing. Vyasa, he was also Vishala Buddhi, very intelligent. He said, okay, I will do that, but one thing also, the one condition. What is that? Whatever you are writing, you must understand it first, then write. So what I am telling, you are just going on writing, that won't do. You have to understand it first, yourself. And when you are convinced, then only you can write. Two things, editing also going on. So, naturally there will be discussion why you are using this word and this the meaning of this. So it will take time. We can just imagine, and then he also gets some time to think about it. So he was going on dictating. Asha Goswami he has listed 59 scholars, the names who have forwarded 59 opinions about the date of Mahabharata, when it was composed, is ranging from 6000 to 575 BC. 6000 BC, some people are telling, and now 575 BC. The 59 scholars are writing like this, but astrological calculation, the data of the great war of Kurukshetra has been fixed as 3101 BC. Because of the astrological calculation, when the stars were there, etc., etc. So it goes back, and then they get this date 3101 BC. Then Yudhishthira ruled for 36 years, and the descendants of the Pandavas, Parikshit, the most of the Indians, they are familiar with all these names, the famous names. Parikshit, he also ruled for 24 years. So Yudhishthira 36 and he 24. So naturally 60 years, adding to this. Then we have to deduct. Adding means we have to deduct 3101 BC, that's the Kurukshetra war, and after the war, King Yudhishthira is ruling, then his descendant Parikshit, then Mahabharata was written. So obviously, and that means it was 3038 BC, 3038 BC. The Mahabharata, the Kurukshetra war was 3101, and after this 36 plus 24 years of ruling, it comes. So they guess that it was 3000 years before. The total sloka of Mahabharata is 1 lakh. Without the narrative of the stories, mostly the stories, we will begin with the stories. Stories after stories, and all linked after going on. So it is so interesting. Those who can really explain it in this way, they call Srauti, because they heard it and they remembered it and they told it in such a wonderful way. It became very popular even in those days, the Mahabharata, and still now it is so popular. And now, of course, they all changes in their own way. Mahabharata, not the Bhagavata. Bhagavata is the biography, life of Sri Krishna. And Mahabharata, they call it Dharmagrantha and Itihasa. It is Itihasa, the description of all the events, and at the same time it is the Dharmagrantha. We will come to that. The total sloka is 1 lakh, but including all the incidents and the stories, narrations, so it is total 1 lakh. Otherwise, the actual sloka of Mahabharata is 24,000. Now, the gist of Mahabharata again has been given in 150 sloka by the Vedavyasa himself. Why he has composed this huge epic, as they call it, Mahabharata. So that he has told the gist in 150 slokas. And there are in the Mahabharata, of the 24,000 slokas, 8,800 slokas which are very, very difficult to explain. Almost no one could understand. So he composed these to make Ganesha think. So Ganesha was stopped with this 8,800 sloka, about which the Vedavyasa himself is telling, Aham Vetti. I can understand these slokas, the meaning of the slokas. Shuka Vetti, my son Shuka, he also can understand Sanjaya, the great Sanjaya of the Mahabharata. Vetti Banava, he may or may not understand it. These are the 3 persons only could understand these intricacies of the sloka, the meaning of the sloka. Swami Vivekananda commented about the Mahabharata by saying, Ramayana and Mahabharata are the portraits of the ancient Aryans. It's not the race. is the cultured people. Swami Vivekananda again and again afterwards explained that Aryan doesn't mean a race. It is only the cultured people. About them they used to call as Aryan. They are the treasure houses of world knowledge. The human civilization that has been portrayed here in Ramayana and Mahabharata is a very high standard. 3000 years before Christ, the human civilization was portrayed in this way. Only yesterday I read in the newspaper, Indian newspaper, that on the bank of our Bay of Bengal, near Bengal, West Bengal, they have found the civilization of 3000 years old, years BC. Can you imagine? So obviously this is not that hypothetical. This is all true. So he said, human civilization that has been portrayed here in Ramayana and Mahabharata is a very high standard. Whole human society has to strive for a long time to reach to that height. Even the modern time, he is telling to reach to that height of morality, ethics, responsibility, valor, everything that if we see, it will take long time for us, the modern people, to reach up to that height. Rabindranath Tagore commented, the greatest book of the world is Mahabharata. He was a writer. So he is commenting about the Mahabharata, the greatest book of the world. And Raja Gopalachari, he wrote, Mahabharata belongs to the world and not only to India. It is the perennial source of spiritual strength. The Mahabharata, they call it an epic. Particularly after the European scholars they came to know about Mahabharata, then they made it in an epic. They gave this is the huge, but it's the story. No, it is the history. The history of the India, history of the human civilization, and the civilization, according to Vivekananda, which was so high that now the present day society has to strive for a long time to reach up to that height. That is called Mahabharata. And it says, just why he is telling like this, I am quoting here from the Shanti Parva. It says, Guiham Brahma tad idam bo brabhimi. Guiham Brahma tad idam bo brabhimi. What is that? Guiham means secret. I am going to tell you a secret. And what is that? About the Brahma, I am going to tell. Brahman, that is that superconscious, all pervading. No manushat srashtataram hi kinchit. In those days, he is mentioning there is no other greater thing except the human being. And that's why Swami Vivekananda afterwards in the modern days he said, they are the tabernacles, the moving temples, the living gods. Go and serve them. It will be as equal as to go and worship in the temples. So this na manushat srishtataram. There is no higher than, nothing higher than the human being. He kinchit. So that is yesterday one young lady came and she was telling me, Swamiji, I told, she just took the appointment and she came and she met me. I was thinking some personal thing. She told, no, I want to request you to tell your devotees about the terrible condition of the cows and how they are behaving with the cows. And she showed me a few minutes. Of course, I was not having time. Few minutes, a video. Oh my God, you cannot believe it. How they kill the calves. And then they sell that meat over here and they're very costly. And that lady, when she was telling, I don't stop it. I cannot listen so much. And there they were showing how, brutality. They were beating the small baby calf to so much to kill it. They could kill it in a different way also. They will be cutting the tails, they will be breaking the horns, and only to get the milk. So she was telling, when a 7-year-old, the cow, giving the birth of 7 calves. Can you understand the condition? So that is that he was telling. Then he told, I want your help to spread it at least among the Indians. So they will appreciate, they will understand. We have to reduce the drinking of the milk so that naturally, when there is no demand, the supply will also be reduced, and maybe that. She is a one-man army. She is going on spreading. She is becoming a doctor, studying medicine, and going on researching on these. And I told a lady, I will invite you and give you an opportunity to speak before our the devotees in one of the what's called our retreats in Ganges. Come and show it and tell them. But the way you are explaining, I won't be able to. But I really now feel that I should stop drinking milk and yogurts and all those things. Because of all this, it is better to switch over to other, that oat and all other things, milks are there. Anyway, so that is he says, the Manusha. Why the human being? This young lady of hardly 23, 24 years old, she is feeling so much, and she has taken up, when you are studying medicine, you can understand it's so difficult. There's so much of time you have to give. Even with that, she is researching this and going on telling. So this is the secret, because the human, what is the human? Feeling. What is the feeling? Feeling for others. So that is the main thing. She is feeling for others. It is absent in all other creatures. So human. The first official reading of the Mahabharata was held in the royal court of Janmejaya, the son of Parikshit, at Takshashila, the present Rawalpindi, where hundreds of scholars assembled to witness and perform Sarpa Yajna. Sarpa Yajna, the sacrifice of snakes. You know that story. The Sarpa Yajna, Janmeja is the son of the Parikshit, and Parikshit died because of the son, what's called the famous snake, Takshak. The Takshak, actually, because of the Takshak and all this. That's a long story. So Parikshit was a very good king, but he made a mistake, and then this type of curses came, and he was killed by the Takshaka and all this. His son then told, I don't know which the Sarpa, but with the power of the mantra we will drag all the snakes from all over the world and burn them. So he started doing that. Then the Takshaka, see the stories. So that will take long time. I don't know whether I should say it or not. Then the Takshaka, he understood that this is for me only. So very clever Takshaka went to the Lord Vishnu, and without telling anything told, I am taking the refuge at your feet, and he was taking the help of the Vishnu's seat, where he was sitting, and he was there. Now when the rishis, they uttered the mantra with the name of Takshaka, come and burn over here. So naturally he was holding at the feet of the Lord Vishnu. Vishnu was also coming. Then the rishis saw, what is it? Why the Lord Vishnu is coming? And there was, why Lord, why you are coming like this? Well, what to do? He is taking refuge. And naturally I cannot say no. So I am the God. I cannot, whoever comes to me, I have to save. I have given the word that I will save. So that is the reason. So that is the all story goes. So the snakes were saved. That was the time many people, they went to see that unique yajna. At the same time they were a part of the yajna also. There the first time the Vedavyas was also present. The first time officially that was read, and it was read by the Vedavyasa's famous disciple Vaishampayan. The second reading of the Mahabharata took place in Naimisharanya. This Naimisharanya, that is also another forest where the many, in hundreds and thousands, rishis, they used to live over there. And the kings, they used to support them, so they used to research on many things. And naturally, now in the present universities, they get the government grant, the support from the government to do the researches. In Naimisharanya, rishis used to be there, they used to do the researches, where suddenly one person came, his name is Ugrasrava. This Ugrasrava, he was the son of Lomaharsha. And Lomaharsha was again the disciple of Vedavyasa. But Lomaharsha studied not the other things but history and Purana. And when the Vedavyasa used to explain him the history and also the Puranas, he used to feel the joy. So the Vedavyasa gave the name Lomaharsha. So this Lomaharsha's son, Ugrasrava, he heard it over there in the first meeting. Then came to these people and they told that we have heard something about the Mahabharata. Do you know anything about? So I have heard it. I can tell it to you. But I have to stay here for some. Then they arranged for his stay there. And then this Lomaharsha told. Immediately after the composition of the Mahabharata became highly popular. Why? Because it covers all the fields and phases of human life. In the words of Maharshi Vedavyasa himself, so why Mahabharata is so popular? So now Vedavyasa says, Dharmecha, Arthecha, Kamecha, Mokshecha, Bharatarshava, Yadi iha asti, tad annatra, yad na iha asti, na kutrachit. In the Mahabharata, the Vyasa is telling, if anything there in this human life, human society, it must be there in the Mahabharata. It has been covered. It has been mentioned. If you don't find anything here, know it for sure it is nowhere in the universe. He was so confident about it. But he mentioned the whole thing in 4 sentences, 4 words. What are those? Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. In the human life, these are the only 4, they call it Purushartha. They are the goal to achieve. First is the Dharma. Dharma means that you have to understand the duties, the responsibilities. So, unless and until the human society, these things are there. It's not religion afterwards, the Dharma equal to religion, that afterwards. But it says the 4 goals, Purushartha of human life, Dharma means these dharmas. If a person is not responsible for all the duties and responsibilities that he has accepted, then what will happen in the human society? I am believing on you, and if you are not doing that, then where I will go? I go to a doctor, and without any hesitation, I lie down, allowing him to cut my body, with complete faith that he is not going to kill me, rather he is going to cure me. But he is also opening up the body, doing this, doing that. I am not going to somebody else, I am going to a doctor with a faith only. So obviously, one person, just for the fun of it, one person who was crying that he to be operated. So the doctor told, why you are crying? He said, doctor, this is the first time my operation, so I am crying. The doctor, when he was putting on the gloves and others, he told, this is my first operation also, don't bother. So this is the fun. I think then afterwards they added, then what happened to that person? He left. He ran away from there. So anyway, so this is the, when we are dharmecha, arthecha, kamecha, mokshecha. Dharma means responsibilities. And second is the purushartha, or the goal to achieve is the artha, prosperity. You must. Each and every one should. I used to tell in India, particularly in the northeastern part, the people are poor, very ordinary people, but very devoted type. I used to tell them that you are spending a lot of time for your puja, meditation, this, that, thinking that God will come and help you. No, you have to strive. And you have to be rich. No, Swamiji, with whatever little food we get, that is sufficient. It's not for you. You are a grihasthi. You have to support the society. You have to support the monks. You have to support so many things. You have to have lot of wealth. Otherwise, how can you do that? Suppose some Swamis comes and say, we like to have food with you and give us. Then you don't have anything. Then what? Is this the grihasthi? You must have to give. So that provision you should have. Each and every devotee, that one RSS person came and I was telling him, go and tell. He is from India. His wife is here in America. And he was telling, I don't go back and tell your leaders, don't fight with others. Rather, go to each and every Hindu family and tell you should be educated and you should be wealthy. First, this is our goal. When each and every family is that, then you think about others. In the meantime, by that, whatever you are thinking for, craving for, dreaming for, that you will achieve. So give this, dharma and then the artha. And the further artha, kama is necessary. Swami Vivekananda said, if you have money, you must go and purchase 2-3 times. If you don't spend your money, then how the market will roll, how the market will increase? Look at it. The economy means what? And that's why the America has understood. Whatever you purchase after use, you have to throw. So, but in India, we will go on utilizing, using so many times, reusing. So that is why the economy means you must fast, you have to grow. So this is in the Mahabharata. Dharme, arthe, kame, and finally comes mokshe. Moksha, that is the ultimate purushartha. And in there only, after all these things, you come in conclusion, enough is enough. I got all these things, but nothing can give me the happiness. So let me now search for happiness. So now I am getting a lot of invitations to speak on happiness. So in a search of happiness, what is the ultimate happiness? All this dharma, then artha, then kama cannot give. So what is that? Renouncing all those things. That is ultimately you have to go to the moksha, and that is called the liberation. All this is everything has been covered in the Mahabharata. And that's why the Vyasa, in boasting, he is telling, Simhanadam, they say, he cried and told, whatever is not there in the Mahabharata, you will never find anywhere in this universe. This is the Mahabharata. So, dharmecha, arthecha, kamecha, mokshecha, bharatarshava, yadi iha asti, tadanyatra. Yadi iha nasti, nakutrachit. Now, Mahabharata is known as the Dharma Shastra, is a holy book, and also the same time, Jaya Shastra, book of success. It teaches how to be successful in your life. So they call it Jaya Shastra. In short, Jaya. Mahabharata, they used to call it as Jaya also. The motto of the Mahabharata, why it was written? Just for sometimes the story books are there. You go and read the story book and then you throw it. Most of in the flight, I see the people, they read the book, then give it to they throw it over there. So this is not that. It's the Moksha Shastra also. And what is the motto of the Mahabharata? This is very important. Yato dharma tata jaya. Yato dharma tato jaya. Here the dharma means righteousness. Wherever there is righteousness, there the success. If you are not righteous, maybe for a short time you will be successful, but you are going to be destroyed, that is for sure. So, yato dharma tato jaya. This is the motto of the whole Mahabharata. The great epic began with the story of the king Shantanu. This Shantanu is a human character, the wonderful character. The Shantanu was the son of Pradeepa and Sunanda. The Mahabharata, many of the times we start from the Shantanu, King Shantanu, but we don't know the name of his parent. That is why the speciality of the Mahabharata always mentioning the family tree, and particularly his son. Why? Because the same name, there many were there. How you'll understand who is what? Who is it? That's why they always mention along with the name of a particular person, the name of the father. So they could relate. That proves it is true. It's not just giving some name and then fictitious names and then the story, not like that. So obviously, if anything Vedavyasa is mentioning about that particular person, immediately he will say, I never did that. Why you have mentioned like this? Or there are opportunity to protest or accept. So this is the basis. When he is writing the history, obviously you have to also understand. Now suppose something you write about someone, if the gentleman or the person is not alive, descendants will come and protest. It never happened in our family. And so never did it. Why you have recorded like this? There will be protest, there will be court case and all that. That is why it mentions the Shantanu, the son of Pradeepa and Sunanda. His father was Pradeepa and Sunanda, and they belonged to the Ikshaku Vamsha. Now you know Ikshaku dynasty, the famous Ikshaku dynasty. Shantanu's elder brother was Devapi, and he accepted the sannyasa, embraced the sannyasa in a very young age and left the hearth and home. So naturally, Shantanu became the king. Shantanu was very handsome, strong, and hard-working. He was religious minded and used to observe high moral values. Hunting was his favorite sport. Favorite game was hunting. And while hunting, things started happening. So here, one day, while he was hunting on the banks of Ganga, he saw a beautiful young lady with a heavenly aura emanating from her body. And very peculiarly, Shantanu was attracted to two ladies, we'll come to afterwards, and just for the very good smell that was coming out of their bodies. And here Shantanu came and searched and found this lady standing over there. Instantly he fell in love with her. And he said, O most beautiful lady, whoever you are, I like to marry you. Will you be mine? Asked the king Shantanu. So we can understand that was the system on those days. It's not the forcefully, but approaching. And when he is approaching, the beautiful lady said, O king, my name is Ganga. I shall be your wife, but on one condition. What is that condition? This is very interesting. With one condition. You shall never try to know about me. Who am I? So the Shantanu naturally thinking, who is she standing all alone on the bank of Ganga? So naturally curiosity will come and he may start inquiring about. So first is, you should not try to know about me. You should not interfere with whatever I do. This is in one condition he gave these two. First, you shall never try to know about me. Second, it's not second, it's connected, shall not interfere with whatever I do. Mad to get her, the king, without any second thought, agreed to her condition. And then they lived, and 7 children were born to them. And it's a long period of time they were living together as the husband and wife. As because Shantanu, he gave the word, he promised, he never broke that promise, never tried to know who is this lady, and never interfered in her deeds. What she used to do, this is very peculiar. And they lived, and the 7 children was born to them, but wonder of wonders, as soon as the child was born, Ganga, the mother, would throw the baby in the river Ganges, uttering, "This is for your good." Every time she used to utter that before throwing the child, "This is for your good." Horrified. Now still the tradition is there in the Hindu society. They don't throw, they only take the baby and they put the baby under the water for just for a fraction of a second and get the blessings of, so to get the blessings and the protection of goddess Ganga. Why? That we will come to know about afterwards. She used to give those babies, through those babies in the Ganga, telling this is for your good. Horrified, though, Shantanu did not say a word, fearing to break his promise and losing his wife. But when the Ganga was about to throw the 8th son, Shantanu could not restrain himself and intervened. "Please, Ganga, spare me at least this child. How, being mother, you could be so cruel?" So that was the time he spoke out, smiled. The beautiful lady narrated the truth. "O king, I am Ganga, the daughter of Janu, the Janu Muni, that he, Janu means the thigh. So from there only he gave the birth of Ganga. So she is mentioning the daughter of Janu. These 8 sons of yours are the 8 Bashus, Ashta Bashu. Bashu means above God, we can say. They mean other little gods, because the god of in the Indra, Varuna, all these. So Bashus are a little above of that. So they were having the supernatural power at the same time, the other spiritual powers also. So the Bashus, Ashtabashu. These Ashtabashus, one of them, so his name was, then we will come to that. So he, just for the fun, we can say, the Ashtabashu, they were visiting one ascetic, and there inside the jungle, that rishi was having only one cow, but that was a very special cow. Whatever you asked to the cow, she used to give it to. And the cow was having beautiful 2 eyes. Now this Du, D-U-Y, Du, that was the name of one of the Ashtabashus. His wife, she said, "I want this cow for me." Now, all problem comes with this. Ashtabashu was all right, but because the wife told, "I want this cow," and naturally what to do? Then with the help of his 8 brothers, when the rishi was absent, rishi was very kind, and he accepted them, gave them all those things that a host should give to the guests. But even then, without informing him, naturally, they took that cow along with them. But the rishi sat in meditation, found out who has taken, became very angry, and told, "Is this the way you are behaving? Then I give you the curse that you will go and take the human birth." So human birth, comparing with them, is a punishment. So go and have the human birth. So all these things. But the Ashtabashus, if they are not there in the celestial realm, it will be difficult. So naturally, they sat and they told what will happen. Again, the remedy was, if they become the son of Ganga, if the Ganga agrees and become the son of Ganga, then they will come back to that Bashu form. So the Ganga, because of the request of the Devas, she accepted and she chose Shantanu as the husband. And Shantanu was a great personality. So naturally, this Ashtavashu, the eighth one, so when the Shantanu intervened, so she told, I accepted this thing because of the request of the gods. Now my duties are over. But I liked you also. And as per your request, this eighth child, I will give it back to you. But let me take that eighth child. He is called Dyu, Do. So this Do with me, I will train him and send you back. Still the story goes, long story. Then when the young man, as a young man he came, and the mother, this Ganga, introduced Shantanu, this is your son. So Shantanu was very happy seeing this young boy, and his name he gave Deva Brata. Brata is the vows of the Deva. Is the vows of the Deva. This is Deva Brata. The Deva Brata, who afterwards became Mahabharata fame as the Ganga Putra Bhishma. He was famous as the Ganga Putra, not as the Shantanu Putra. Ganga Putra Bhishma, Bhishma the son of Ganga. Sometimes he has been referred as Gangeya. Gangeya is the son of Ganga. The king Shantanu was very happy after receiving the son Devabrata, and he declared him as the heir apparent, Yuvaraj. And things were going on. Again, another day, the king Shantanu went for his favorite sport, and there on the bank of Jamuna, this is happening. That happened in the bank of Ganga, this is one Jamuna. There also she smelled some very good fragrance, and when he went for searching and found that another very, very beautiful lady, and he went and told, who are you? Then the lady told, and she was doing a very humble job, ferrying the boat. So when the king went and told her, who are you? I am Satyavati. And then this Satyavati is the mother of Vedavyasa. Again here he is marrying Shantanu. But the marriage was not so easy. Shantanu as a king could marry her forcefully, but being a moral person, he didn't do that. He went to her father, who was a fisherman. And the king of the country went to him and said, I want your daughter as my wife. He said, it's very good. I am so lucky. But the condition that her son should be the next king. If you promise before everyone, then only I can accept it. Because they know that Bhishma was already declared as the Yuvaraja. Then naturally Shantanu, he was very sad and didn't tell anything, though he was thinking to have that lady as his wife. He came back and he was spending his days not talking, and that our Devabrata he noticed. And he went and told, because after the 16 years, the son and the father, they become friends. So that was the system in those days. So the son came and told, please tell me something in your mind that is torturing you. You cannot sleep, you cannot eat, you cannot live the happy life. What happened? Then he narrated. This is the problem. That person, he is thinking that the children, the son of Satyavati should be the king. How that can be? Why not? He went to that along with all the ministers and told that man, I am promising before everyone, these ministers, I will never become the king of this country. Your daughter's son will be the king. That man who was real good, the bargainer, immediately said, I accept, and I know that you will never break your promise. But your son, so obviously the Debabrata's son, he is the eldest son of the Shantanu, his son will have the first opportunity to get the throne. What will happen to the children of my daughter? And then he said, don't be angry. Please understand, I am the daughter's father. I have to take all the measures to make her happy. Then he promised, I promise that I will never marry in this life. So after that, he became Bhishma. So Debabrata Bhishma. This Shantanu and Satyavati, so they gave the birth of Chitrangad and Vichitrabirya. Chitrangad died to fight. He was a very good archer, and he used to go out for this type of challenges. Another king was there. His name was also Chitrangad, the namesake. When they were fighting, this Chitrangad were killed, he died. So obviously, Vichitrabirya, he became the king. But that time he was very, very young. So keeping him on the throne, the Bhishma, he was ruling. Then afterwards, when he came in age, then the mother Satyavati told Bhishma, now my son should get married. Where to get the wife, the bride? So then they came to know that in the Kashi, they are having the Swayambara Sabha. The Bhishma went over there and he saw all great kings are assembled over, Swayambara, so they have come. What will happen if they go and choose? Because Bhishma is not going to marry. And he has not brought that Vichitravirya also. So what will happen? Then the Bhishma, he was a great scholar also, told, in this case you can force. Then he went and declared, I am going to take these ladies because I do not know whom my brother will like, so I am taking all the three daughters. Whomever he will like to marry, and then afterwards the two others I will return back. So you cannot do that. So Bhishma did like that, and he took all the three ladies, forced them, and he was so powerful, all people they knew, they could not dare to fight with him. Some of them, like the Shalya, came to fight with him. He didn't kill Shalya, but he humiliated him by killing all the horses and his charioteer and all this. And then Shalya was humbled and went back. So this story continues, and when he brought all the ladies over here, one of the sisters, Amba, he came to Bhishma and told, I mentally accepted Shalya as my husband. And Shalya also knew it. So he came, but you have humiliated him. Now what will happen to me now? I cannot marry your brother. I cannot marry. Whether your brother chooses me or not, that is separate. I cannot marry. Then the Bhishma understood and asked her to go to Shalya, arranged everything, but Shalya refused. And she came back and told, in this case, as because you hold my hand there, so you have to marry me. So another complication came. So we will come to that, and you all know, so I am not going to narrate here. This Vichitravirya, he married Ambika and Ambalika. This Ambika and Ambalika, these two, Vichitravirya could not give the children to them. So afterwards, another son of this Satyavati, Vedavyasa, he came. That was the custom in those days. So he, the Vedavyasa, at the behest of the mother, mostly the people, they say, because he was having the tremendous spiritual power, yogic power, he blessed these two ladies and they got the children. This is one, Ambika became the mother of the Dhritarashtra and the Ambalika the mother of the Pandu. And the third time, because the Ambika closed her eyes, because the Vyasa, she was terrified seeing him, so she closed her eyes. He understood, Vedabhyasa understood, the son will born as a blind. He wanted to give another blessings, and this time instead of going herself, she sent one maid servant, and Vidura was born out of that. So these are the three great characters, friends. We won't go to all the stories, but we will go on touching, because without the stories, because there is history, we have to understand the philosophy behind all this, psychology behind all this, and which we will find almost so common with present day life also. So thank you very much. So I have taken extra half an hour because I could not complete this, and I came and I started the half an. So I think you will pardon me, forgive me because of this. Now, if you have little time and any question, you can please ask. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted to make one correction in your statement, which you said that Takshila was in Rawalpindi. It was not in Rawalpindi, it was in Peshawar. It is the northwest of pre-partition India. It is in Peshawar. It is still there. There were two universities were established during the King Ashoka's days when he fought Kalinga.
Is it Takshashila is not in Rawalpindi?
No, it's not in Rawalpindi. It's in Peshawar.
Peshawar.
It is still there. It is still there. There were two great universities which were established by King Ashoka.
Oh.
One was Nalanda University in Bihar, and the Takshila was in Peshawar.
Yeah.
Takshila was the center of Buddhist culture.
Afterwards.
Education.
Afterwards. Thank you. Thank you for this.
He was a great scholar. He himself went there, and so it was Takshila.
I read it in the book. I found in a book they are mentioning that is in Rawalpindi, and now in the present Rawalpindi. I never knew. But of course they call Punjab.
Yes, that's correct. In 1917, before 1917, it was the whole area was Punjab, starting from Amritsar, Lahore, all the way back to the northwest side. And then in 1917, the British government divided because there were rebellious people in that area. So they divided. Punjab became one part, and that became northwest frontier province. And that is still there, in Takshila is there. But that is not in a good condition. I tried to do some research. It's in a very poor condition. During the British time and Indian time, it was in a good condition. The same culture was there, Buddhist culture, many times. Japanese used to give a lot of help to promote the culture of Buddhism in Takshila.
Okay.
But now it is simply ignored. It is not there during the Pakistan time.
Thank you for a lot of information. This is a very current. Thank you.
I just wanted to say one or two more things, but I will mention that later.
Achha.
Right now, only this editing part I was thinking.
Peshawar, right.
So
Yeah.
Two cities, one Taxila and one was Taxashila.
it's a Takshila.
Takshashila.
Could be in Peshawar, but Taxashila could be in.
I think the pronunciation, but there's the same thing. Takshashila.
Heard that Takshila. Takshila is in Peshawar.
When they pronounce in Punjab, they short it in this way. But when we pronounce we call it Takshashila, they call it Takshila. Like this only. Yeah. Oh no, please. Yes, you should. No, you have.
Last time in the last class, my question was.
Last class.
Lord Lama was Jitendriya.
Yeah.
Why he went after that golden.
Oh.
Dhiran. So this time, question is, Maharaja Shantanu was so powerful. Okay, despite of his power, how come he surrendered to two beautiful ladies? He could not.
Oh, no, no, he didn't surrender. This is the
power of the woman is much more than that of man. Of course.
Your friends can tell it. I don't have any idea. But the thing is, see, this is called Mahamaya. So this Maya is like this only. So all these things, that is because of this. But anyway, you were asking something?
Swami, Vyasa is different than Vyasa, the son of Satyavati?
Vedavyasa is the same. The same person. So I was telling that he has divided the Vedas and then composed the 8 Puranas, then Mahabharata, then Bhagavata, all goes in it. Some people, they say there were many others who composed it and it went in the name of Vedavyasa, but some say no, he was excellently an intelligent person, he could do it. So one person.
He must have lived very
Long time.
Son of Satyavati, then few generations came by the Parikshit.
Mm.
And if he wrote that time, so it means he lived very long.
A long time. It's a long life.
So same person.
Same Vyasa. Yeah.
Who gave Bhishma the boon that he could live as long as he wanted and could die when he wanted?
Oh, yeah, very good question. That is his father, Shantanu. Ichamritu, the Shantanu, his father, because he sacrificed his everything. So for the sake of the father's joy, so the father told, I bless you. So that proves the father, Shantanu, was having this power. I bless you. The death cannot touch you unless you wishes to. So the Ichamritu bara we got.
Swami, listening to all these things, it reflects that the Indian society and the human society at that time was at such a pinnacle of moral and spiritual and all those dharmas, kam, moksha, etc. So, considering that heritage, this appears to be a lot of deviation and tremendous degradation. Which is it a natural course in the history of the civilization that these things happen, or that's quite a huge gap between what we hear and what we see now.
At present day. See, even if you go to the core values, still there in the human Indian society, still these core values are there. But apparently, naturally, we have to adjust along with the changes that happens in the society. And when we are getting connected with the all over the world, different type of influences are also coming. So this is also good, and at the same time, to some extent is bad also. So this goes on, but it is all apparent, external. But inside the core, still it is there. Yato dharma tato jaya. So this is there. They never give it up. So the Satya, the one teachings of the Mahabharata, the Indians, they say, they cannot practice it maybe because, when you are a slave, you cannot do many things, even if you like. So when you are uprooted people, even though you are a very good person, when you are uprooted, when there is no food, only for a little bit of food and that morsel of food, sometimes some people, they had to do many other things which they never liked it. So this is what I have seen the people as refugees from the Bangladesh, present Bangladesh, they are coming, were good people. And they were the teachers, very moral, decent, but there is no food. Days after days, what they will do? Then slowly they started coming out with the begging bowl, please give me. And then the people started, naturally, who is going to give the respect to the beggars? And their daughters started selling themselves. The boys, they started doing that as they call killing others and looting and all this. I have seen it in my own eyes. The wonderful society crumbled down because of the wrong political decision and whatever that happened. So this is, it always goes on. But again, the moment it is in a normal state, you will find it goes back to the same. The best example, you people came all the way from India in America. You struggled over here, settled yourself over here, but you have not given up the core value. And that's why wherever there is anything, they all go and run and try to learn from there. And at the same time, almost all the Indian parents, they're constantly telling, Swamiji, do something for our younger generation. They should also learn it. So that is India living and surviving and will survive all through. And yeah.
Swamiji, Bhagavan Vedvyas, was he avatar, reincarnation of Vishnu? Sort of somebody was saying.
This is, you see, the way he worked. So naturally they say the manifestation of the power of God, it must be there. Otherwise it is impossible for one person to do so many things. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he mentioned, whenever you see a person powerful, expressing his intellect or many other things, accepted by the society, know it for sure, the power of God is manifesting through him. So we can natural, yes.
Is Satyavati married to Vedavyasa's father and Rishi
Parashara?
Parashara?
No, in those days that was the custom and the system. I don't know why, but the Parashara, seeing that lady who was a boat woman and she was ferrying the boat, the Parashara being a rishi is not a sannyasi. He told that lady, I want to have you, not as a wife, but this moment. I am attracted to you, I want to have you. Then,
That is wrong, right? That is wrong, right? Being a rishi.
but, and now the thing is, the moment it is coming in the mind of that person, he went and told that, then she told, see, this is, I cannot do this because I am not still married. So naturally, how can I meet you? Moreover, all these people, they are here. Then this, they say the Parashara and Satyavati went to a small island. Parashara covered the whole island with smoke so people couldn't see. And then he said, though you will give a birth of a child, but you will remain as an unmarried lady. So that was the, if you can say how it is possible, the miraculous power those people they were to have. So she never said anything wrong about it. And people never said anything wrong about those things. Yeah.
Did Shantanu Maharaj knew about this Vedavyasa before he was married to Satyavati?
That is not mentioned. I have not come across that. I don't know. But
nobody knows about Vedavyasa.
No, Vedavyasa, because when this the Vichitra Virja and because that time she told Bhishma that if you do this, it's okay. If not, then we can call the Vedavyasa.
Yeah, that was after marriage.
After marriage, when Shantanu passed away. Shantanu passed away also. But in those days, they never minded because it was very normal thing in those days. So the
out of wedlock child was okay in those days.
So that is to have. So this is the stories, and they used to have these naturally. And you have to understand, some people were very, very intelligent. And in that way, I think some people were really very intelligent, and they realized the Brahman, they realized the truth, they understood the truth of life. But the majority of the ordinary people were very, very ordinary. So naturally, the formation of the human society that was coming up, it started with the Sri Ramachandra, and then it was still growing. So that's in the at the time of Mahabharata also. But I am happy when I used to study over here, I used to study over the Ramayana, not much of questions. But in the Mahabharata, lot of questions. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let us say 3 times. Om Shanti, 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Friends, I like to announce this. You know that Vivekananda Vedanta Society, we publish e-zine, and every 3 months. So this month we have published this one. It's called Chicago Calling. So you can go online and in our website you can read, and some of the copies I have printed. If you like, you can purchase over here also. So Arup has brought it. So you will find wonderful articles, and one particular section we have kept, that's called Arise, Awaken, Stop Not, collecting the real life story where someone lost the limbs and all those, but still fought and became very successful. So that way, and the new page we have added how our Divine Mother, Ma Saradamani Devi, Sri Ramakrishna and others, the mythological gods and goddesses, they saw divinity in the animals also, animals, birds and all, the divinity in everything. That is the teachings of the Vedanta. And this article that is coming, that will also be very interesting. Thank you very much.